the beginning of some discord with Shaun for whatever reason. And I don't really know what it was exactly, but I will say that it somewhat started with Kevin. Not that Kevin did anything, but it was with Kevin's success. You know, Kevin went to Toyota Bigger that year and won. He went to Nippon Open and won and beat Shaun. I got third. And so after that, those 2 Japan trips, and Kevin just like shot, and then Kevin won the Arctic Challenge that year.
Yep.
So Kevin had gone from like doing pretty good. I think he got second in X Games that year. It's crazy how I remember all these stats, but I just remember a lot of. But Kevin had gotten like second in X Games. He was like, that was his kind of come out year where he was riding really, really well. And you know, what I remember in terms of this being like, oh, fuck Shaun, was like after the Nippon Open, Shaun took a fire extinguisher to our hotel room. Ruined all my stuff, MacBook, snowboard stuff.
You guys beat him. Kevin beat him, and then he basically was so salty about it that he exacted revenge for your victory by fire extinguishing all your gear.
It sounds really silly, but you know, we'd always get hammered after contests. I mean, that's what you do. You play hard, party hard. I mean, that's snowboarding in a nutshell, at least in my experience. And so Shaun was already like drunk before the awards. You know, and like, so he took it, and for whatever reason, I don't really ever feel like he could handle his liquor that well. So he took a fire extinguisher to the room. It was all kind of speculation. Like I asked him, he's like, no, I didn't do that. But then I asked like Adam Moran and some of the other, you know, Chaka, some of the Burton people. They're like, yeah, Shaun did it. And so I was pissed. We were all mad, and then we all went to Tokyo that night, and you know, kept it going. And yeah, we were like basically on a pretty hot one, and you know. Shaun and Kevin had an altercation in the elevator, and someone's shoes got thrown off the balcony. It was just, I think it was just jealousy. I don't think, you know, and I can't speak for Shaun on this, you know, and it's funny because this story circled back around to me about 1.5 years ago, and Shaun called me on the phone. Really? I haven't spoken to Shaun in like 5 years, and he called me off someone in his Instagram comments, you know, calling him out for this, how, you know, because in Kevin's documentary, we talk about it a little bit. And, you know, we had gotten back to San Diego before going to the Arctic Challenge after this Japan run. And all of Kevin's stuff that was there was packed up on his front steps. Like, basically, like, get the fuck out of my house. And there was, like, all Kevin's stuff, and it was all the money that he had won from Toyota Big Air. So it was, like, 50 grand in, like, Japanese yen that was, like, chilling, like, out in the open at Shaun's house. And there's, you know, he had just moved into this big house, and there's maintenance workers and people cleaning and all this stuff around. There's like all this money sitting there, and we're like, all right, well, so we don't really know what happened between that night in Tokyo and the arrival in San Diego, but we all packed up our shit because up to that point, Shaun said we could stay at his house before the Arctic Challenge, because Shaun was going somewhere else. He goes, yeah, you guys can stay there. Yeah, no problem. You know, so that's kind of the rapport that we had. Like, we had been staying with him in San Diego. We'd been going on trips together, and everything had been cool. We'd party together. You know, I personally never had any direct beef with Shaun, but because I was so close to Kevin, I felt like that's my boy. You know what I mean? Like, why are you?
Right.
So that kind of started like this whole thing, and like Shaun called me about this exact story like 1.5 years ago, and he thought that I was making it up and lying, and that, you know, why did I have to put him on blast and all this stuff? And I was like, dude, like, congrats on Pyeongchang, by the way, you know, like,
that was sick,
like,
huh? Yeah.
I was like, dude, you're incredible, man. Like, I got no beef with you. This happened 12 years ago, and you're calling me about this, like, but it did happen. And, you know, it would take a lot for me to fabricate that story because there's so many kind of, you know, intricate details there, but that seemed to sort of start the beef.